Good morning. My name is Renata King, and I'm the Director of Business Development with Northern Development Initiative Trust. Thank you for joining us today for our last Love Northern BC webinar of 2016. Our webinar series will begin again in early 2017, so stay tuned. We're very fortunate to have Dave Fuller join us today to present 7 ways to increase profits. Dave is a serial entrepreneur who has launched and successfully run small businesses for more than 3 decades. Today, he is the owner and partner in several businesses, including Ave Maria Specialties, a Prince George retail store which employs over 30 people and has sales in the millions of dollars. Dave's expertise is backed by an MBA from the University of Northern British Columbia. He is a certified professional business coach and the author of a recently published book entitled Profit Yourself Healthy. Based on his real-world business experience, Dave has a proven ability to help clients develop strategies to increase profits but also reduce their stress. Sounds great, doesn't it? Given all that he has accomplished, Dave is also happily married with 4 children and makes every effort to consciously lead a balanced lifestyle. Not easy for an entrepreneur. We have much to learn from Dave Fuller. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks for that, Renata. So I wrote this book, Profit Yourself Healthy, because I know what it's like to struggle in business, and I also know what it's like to make good profits, and I know the stress that business owners are under when our businesses aren't working. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. So really what we're going to cover is 3 things. The first thing is why we need profits as business owners. The second thing is what are the 7 areas that we can focus on in our businesses to improve the profitability. And then finally, I'm going to tell you about the next steps that you can do to move forward with your business. So what stresses you out in your business? When I ask business owners this, and I do presentations, I've done them all over North America and in Europe sometimes, the same things come up. You know, we're stressed out because we don't have enough money to pay our bills sometimes. We're stressed out because we have employees that are driving us crazy or customers that are demanding. You know, we have our operations not working for us and we feel overwhelmed. So these are some of the things that stress business owners out. So as Renata said in the introduction, I've been in business for over 30 years, since about 1986 when I started my first business. In 1988, I started a retail business, and in 1998, my partner came to me. We just had our first child, Emily. I was building a house. My partner came to me and said, "Hey, Dave, I'm building this plaza on the west side of town, and I want you to put a big store in there." And I knew in my heart it was the wrong decision to make. And you know, if you've done a startup, you know that a lot of things can go wrong, and a lot of things went wrong with this. We had cost overruns, we had equipment failures, I had staffing issues. I had an average sale that was a third of what my original operation was. And I had a margin that was much lower. And so we actually lost $270,000 in that first year. And, you know, that doesn't count the startup costs. And so that's a lot of money, and it was really stressful. And my business partner was calling me on a regular basis, you know, "Dave, what's going on?" The bank manager was calling me, "You know, you have no money in this account." So I was moving money and back and forth from the accounts. I was wondering if I could pay my staff. My suppliers were calling me. It was really stressful. And that can really happen in business. And as I started working with business owners, I realized that, you know, we have to deal with this. We have to fix this. Because the truth of the matter is that according to the National Federation of Independent Business, over the lifetime of business, only 40% of businesses are profitable. Everybody thinks that if you're in business, you're making a lot of money, but we know it as business owners that it's not always true. In fact, 30% of businesses never make money. 30% of business owners are making some money. The businesses are making some money. The owners are taking a little bit of money out in terms of wages, but they're not really profitable. And 40% of businesses are profitable. When our businesses are not making money, there's a lot of stress for the owners. We feel shame because we think that we should be making money. We should be providing for our family. We've put our life savings into this business, and here we are. We got a business that's not working for us. So I wrote this book, Profit Yourself Healthy, really to help small business owners understand the fundamentals of how to get their businesses profitable so that they can worry less and sleep better, essentially. We need profits as business owners. Really, if we need to make money so that we can hire people to do our job, so that we can sleep better at night. And when we sleep better, we have less stress. You know, we're not putting on that belly fat. We're not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then craving carbohydrates in the morning. When we have more profits, we can hire people to do the work for us. So we're working less, our health is better, our relationships are better because we're not stressed out about our work. We're not thinking about work all the time. And finally, as business owners, nobody else is looking out for a retirement. And we need to do that. So we need profits for all these things, as well as giving back to the community, which small business does so well. There's essentially three things that we need to do to really get our businesses profitable. The first thing is to have a mindset about that we are going to be profitable. The second thing is to have a clear understanding about what we want in the business and what we want in our life. And the third thing is to have business strategy. So I want to ask you, what are you going to do with your increased profits? I want you to think about that. So I said, we said in the advertisement that we talk about 5 areas that you can look for profits in your business. And we're actually going to be talking about 7 of them. 7 tools and tactics that you can use for increasing profitability. Before we can look at where we can focus on to increase profits, we've got to understand how business works. And business works the same for every business. We all have customers. We all have prospective customers, and we all have customers that have left us. There's a certain percentage of each of these that buy from us. This is called our conversion rate. When we look at a website, we know how many people are hitting it and then how many people are buying. Same thing for our brick and mortar businesses. There's a conversion rate. We get a total number of transactions, and we take that transactions, if we multiply it by our average sale, which is the sales in a month or a period or a year, divided by the total number of customers, that equals our revenue. We times our revenue by our gross margin percentage. Now, our gross margin percentage is here's an example. If we're selling something for $150 and it costs us $100 to produce that good or service, we have a $50 profit. That $50 profit, if we divide it by the total selling price, is 150 divided by 150 is 33%. That's our gross margin percentage. We take that gross margin percentage, times it by our revenue, and we get our gross profit. If we subtract our overhead expenses, so all those things that go into making our business, our product or service, like our marketing, our labor costs, our heat and lights, all those things, we take that away and we're left with net profits. That's how business works. So here's an example of how it might look on your income statement. You get your visits to prospects, existing customers, and past customers. You get the total visits. You times them by your conversion rate. You get a total number of transactions. You times that by your average sale. You get your total revenues. Now, the revenues, that's where it starts to show up on your income statement. You times that by your gross margin percentage, you get your gross profit. In this case, our fixed overhead is 150. We subtract that from our gross profit, and hey, we got a net profit of $80,000. Now, looking at this, probably chances are that that's what the owner's making, because I don't see a lot of labor in there for the owner. So maybe that's what the owner's taking home. So who are our prospects? Let's start at the top. Our prospects, when we don't have a business, when we're just starting on a business, we have to get people to come and buy our products. These are our prospective customers. And when we're doing our marketing, we're trying to get new customers, and a lot of businesses focus on getting new customers. These are who we're trying to attract. And when we think about it, we got to think about, when we're marketing, we got to think about who are your best customers? What brought them to you? What do they like about your products and service? Why did they come? What makes them stay? And where can you find these people? And when you understand that, your marketing can really get tuned up, and you can get more of these prospects in your business. So if you want to focus on your profitability, you got to focus on these areas. You got to increase the number of visits from prospects. You got to increase the number of visits from your existing customers. You got to focus on increasing the number of visits from past customers. We got to improve the percentage of people that contact us and buy, that conversion rate. We got to increase the average sale, and increase our gross margin. The other thing we need to do is decrease our fixed costs. Once we do this, we'll increase our profitability. So what do we have to do to get our marketing really to work? Well, we have to attract the attention of our prospects. Then we have to give them a reason to believe, and then finally we have to call them to action. If you think that putting a business card in your local newspaper is going to work for you, or in a trade magazine, you got to get real, because that's not attracting attention. It's not giving people a reason to believe in you, and it's not calling them to action. If you want to get your marketing to work, you got to be really focused on doing it right. Now, a lot of people are concerned about the fact that the internet is making advertising different, but it's not. We still have to do the same thing. We have to attract our attention of our customers. We have to give them a reason to believe, and we have to call them to action. And we see this ad here. We're attracting people's attention. How many people are spending too much time on their phone? You're hooked on your apps. Find out why. The reason to believe is that we got 47,000 people using this, 457 likes and 32 comments. And the call to action is the install now. So as business owners, we do a lot of marketing to get new customers into our business, but really there's a lot of money to be made from our current customers. Just imagine if you could get your current customers to buy, maybe 3 times more frequently. You would almost triple your sales probably. So if we can get, if our customers are buying from us once a year or once a month, how do we get them? Think about how you can get them to buy more often, or even how can you get them to refer their friends to come so that you don't have to spend marketing dollars. So what we need to do to get our customers to buy more frequently is, first of all, build relationships with them. We got to have a database. I was working with a business recently, and they did not have a list of their customers. And so when they got into trouble, they couldn't call out their customers. As a business coach, I understand how difficult sometimes it is to do that work, but we need to build those relationships with our customers. We got to listen to our customers and understand what their needs are, and we really have to wow them with great customer service. The third area we can focus on to increase our profitability is getting our old customers back. And customers leave us for a number of reasons. Sometimes they die off, true. But the number one reason why customers leave us is because they've encountered a bad attitude of one of our employees. So if you're missing some customers and you want to increase your profitability, start going out and finding out, where did they go? Why did they leave you? And invite them back. Have some offer that you can invite them back, and you got to do it right. As I said earlier, when we're talking about conversion rates, a conversion rate is the number of people that come in contact with our business and then either buy from us or leave. Well, the conversion rate is the number of people that buy from us, but there's a number of people that leave. And depending on the type of business, that conversion rate can be anywhere from 99% to 4 or 5%. But unless you know how many people are coming in contact with you and leaving, you have a problem. So if you want to increase your profitability by getting more people that come in contact with your business to buy from you, the number one way of doing this really is training your staff in sales, because when they understand what questions to ask your customers, when your staff really know how to build a relationship with your customers, you increase your sales. The customers take less time to buy. You have an average higher sale, you're communicating more, and your staff have a better relationship, as I said, with your customers, and so the customers are more loyal. So if you really want to know how to increase conversion rates, first thing you have to do is train your staff in sales. The second thing is you have to reduce customer risks, and there's risks to buying your product, whether you know about it or think about it or not. And then you have to measure that conversion rate. You got to figure out how you can measure the conversion rate of people coming in contact with you and not buying. Another way to increase your profitability, or an area to focus on to increase profitability, is average sale. And I work with a client in the States. He was in the software design business, and he actually came into a business when it had $180,000 in sales in a year. He focused on growing the average sale, which at the time was $25,000. He grew that average sale to $125,000 an average sale. And in doing so, he took that company from $180,000 to a $14 million company in 4 or 5 years. And so the 3 ways really to increase your average sale are having a sales model, again, understanding what your customer wants, having upsells and add-ons, and having impulse items, that because your customer's hot at the time when they're buying. Is there anything else that they could impulsively buy that's really going to benefit them? Now, I know we're going through this pretty fast, and if you really want to get into depth, pick up the book, or it's available online at Amazon, and it'll really help you get into it. But the 6th way that we're going to focus on to increase your profitability is increasing your margins. And to do this, there's two ways of doing this. We can increase our selling price or we can reduce our costs. But we got to be careful when we're working with margins, because if our margins are too low, it's like riding a bike, we're going to fall off. And if our prices are too high, our customers, if we're doubling, are going to fall off our bike. So we got to understand how to price for profit and how to get the right margin for our business. So here are the top 3 ways to increase your margin. The first way is to ask for better pricing from your suppliers. And I was talking with a businessman in the Okanagan a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me that he had a credit card company phone him up, you know how they spam you, and they offered him better rates. And he went back to his other supplier because he didn't really want to switch. He went to his supplier and said, "Can you meet these rates?" And they said yes. It actually turned out that he was going to save $400 a month on his credit card dues. And as a result, he put $4,000, $5,000 in his pocket almost. So ask for better pricing from your suppliers. Start pricing for profit. Don't be pricing to be the lowest one in the market. And you got to say no to discounting. It just doesn't work. So as I said earlier, a lot of business owners, when they're trying to increase their profitability, look in a couple different areas. The first area they try to do is increase their sales. And if things are not working right, if they don't have the right margins, or if they don't have other things going on in their business, it's only causing more stress. The second place to look for, that most people look for, is to reduce their expenses. And this is a great place to look at if you've been in business for a while, because things build up over time. I was talking to a business owner, and he was telling me that he had a janitorial service coming in, and they were doing something for $20 a week. And over time, it built up to $100 a week. One day, he went to his employees and said, "Do we really need this?" And they said, "No, actually, we're surprised you still have it." He ended up putting, again, another $5,000 in his pocket. So start looking at your income statement, look at your expense, and look at these areas: labor costs, your rent costs, your energy costs, as ways of reducing your expenses. So, we're talking about doubling our profits, and I showed you that slide earlier. Here's how you do it. It's incremental. If you were to increase these areas by 10%, you would double your profits. So if we increased our visits from prospects from 10,000 to 11,000, if we increased our visits from existing customers from 30,000 to 33,000 in the period, if we increased our visits from past customers from 0 to 1,300 in a period, our total visits would go from 40,000 visits in a period, whatever that period is, a year or a month, or to 45,000. Our conversion rate was 60%, so 60% of those 40,000 people that were coming to see us were buying from us, and we've increased that to 66%. Now, the total number of transactions has gone from 24,000 to 29,000. We've worked on our average sale, increased that from $30 to $33. Our total revenues have gone from $720,000 to $897,000. Our gross margin, which was 32%, we've worked on it. We've increased it to 35%. Our gross profit has gone from $230,000 to $315,000. Now, our fixed overhead, our expenses, I've left them. They were at $150,000. I've left them at $150,000 instead of decreasing them by 10%, because when we increase our sales, sometimes there's extra costs. We have extra labor. Maybe you did a little bit of marketing. But as you can see, the net profit has increased from $80,000 to $165,000. Now, wouldn't you like to put that extra $85,000 in your pocket? So I said I'd tell you how to take your business to another level. And profitability is a great way of doing that. But there's some other things that you can do to improve your business, reduce your stress, and make more money and create value in your company. So my system, the Profit Yourself Healthy system, is really 5 areas. You got to plan strategically. You got to understand where you're going. You got to have some goals, some targets. You got to have clarity. You got to understand your profit potential, which is what we talked about today. You got to have that business knowledge to know where to look for profits and how to get there. You got to develop your organization and your management team, because if your team's not working in the same direction, you're going to have problems. You got to develop that leadership. You have to have, the 4th area is systemization. Every organization can be systemized. Every activity can be systemized. And when you do this, the business starts really working, because everybody's doing the same thing that they should be doing in the right way. This reduces your stress. You're not having to micromanage as an owner. And your business is valuable because you don't have to be there all the time. And the fifth thing that we need to do, in our business is really plan for our retirement, is to create value, because most businesses close down without the owners getting their money out of the business after all their hard work. And so my system, the Profit Yourself Healthy system, really works to make sure your business is valuable and sellable. So one of the things that, Renata, that has allowed me to offer to you today is the fact that I know some of you are really struggling in your business, and my passion is to help business owners who are going through difficulty, because I've been there and I know what it's like. I know what it's like to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with your head spinning and not understanding how you're going to pay the bills the next day, or trying to figure out how you can get those crazy employees or those crazy customers really to understand what you're trying to do. And so I'm offering a business strategy session. It's valued at $5.99. It's a 90 minutes over the phone or the internet. It's focused just on your business, your challenges. And what we're going to come up with is a strategy to solve your biggest business problem. And you're going to come up with tactics and action steps to move you forward, to give you clarity, to reduce your stress, and that you can start working on immediately. But you got to qualify. You got to have employees. You have to be in business for a while. I mean, I love solo entrepreneurs, but there's a lot of resources out there for them. You have to be committed to taking your business to the next level. And the third thing you have to do to qualify is you got to get back to me quickly, because I only have spots. I'm pretty busy. I only have spots to do about 3 of these, 3 or 4. So email me at dave@profityourselfhealthy.com. Tell me about your business and why you'd like a business strategy session. So I want to wrap it up today by saying that, again, if you can focus on any of these areas that we talked about, these 7 areas, you could build your business around any of them, but you can increase your profitability substantially by focusing on one of them at a time. I do it in my Profit Yourself Healthy Academy by focusing on one a month with the group that goes through that. So we got to understand that change is incremental. And as you're getting more profitable, as you're seeing results, maybe you're getting customers coming back that you haven't seen for a while. Maybe you're seeing an increase in sales. Maybe you get a 1% increase in your margin. Celebrate that progress. Celebrate it with your team. Celebrate it with your company. And celebrate it with your family, because we don't have to be perfect, and we're moving in the right direction. As a small business owner, I want to thank you, first of all, for making such a difference in the lives of so many people. You're making a difference in the life of your family, by providing food, money, all those things that you do for them, taking them on holidays because of your business activities. You're providing a safe environment for your employees where they can be happy and healthy. You're helping your customers in terms of filling their needs. And as we know, small business contributes the most to our communities. And as business owners, you're contributing to your community. You're making a difference in the life of the people around you. And I know a lot of you are involved in the world in different activities. So thank you for that. You are making a difference, and it does show. So that's it for today. Thank you, Renata, for having me, and thank you to the Northern Development Initiative Trust for providing this. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at dave@profityourselfhealthy.com, or you can phone or text me at 250-617-7467. I'm always happy to help small business owners. That's my passion. I love doing it. Feel free to drop me a line. Thank you.